let's go, 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 let's go.
You know the frequency, yeah, you know the frequency. Come on, you know the frequency, yeah, you know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy.
We off the grid.
Yes. Yeah. This is the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. I am your host, B. Carter.
I'm Double D, Derek Demers.
Charlie Perry here in the house. And Evan, say something.
What's up, my people?
You want to be sexy?
Yeah.
Charlie, thanks for coming in tonight.
I'm glad to be here.
Charlie here in place of Jay Glock, a.k.a. Jasmine.
My girl.
Thanks for coming through.
Hey, anytime, man.
We got a lot of good topics today. I'm ready to get into this. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about.
We got a lot of good topics. I'm like trying to fix my mic. I should have had it set up. Okay, here we go. I gotta be comfortable, D. I gotta be comfortable.
Get comfortable.
Topic, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of good topics. Run down the line, D. What we have on?
Well, we're going to talk about Jacob Parthia, the Bedford kid that passed away.
Yo, that's a local story that we're gonna get into.
Yep. On a national level, we're going to talk about Matthew Perry.
That the Matthew Perry French star, if anybody knows
Some
who
things
he is.
just came to light, so we're going to mention that. We're going to talk about possibly the DNC, Project 25, your boy Michael Rubin.
He's talking about some things that maybe is he the appropriate person to even talk about this?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
And I think you threw in another relationship status.
I want to, and I want people to engage in this.
Yes.
And the question is, we'll be talking about later on the show, who is more romantic, women or men?
I will talk about it.
Let's go.
All right.
Charlie, what we gonna do? I don't want you to get in trouble with your wife,
Oh,
Charlie.
I ain't worried about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm
all right.
already in the doghouse.
Good segment for Jasmine.
Listen, I got an extension from Xfinity.com. You know, my cable is, well, actually, my Wi-Fi is now going to the doghouse because I'm always in the doghouse. So I needed that connection in there so I can at least watch some football, right?
Yeah, you need to watch the football.
Yeah, so, you know.
Football's about to start pretty soon.
Can't
How do
wait.
you feel about that?
Wait.
I'm ready for the fall. So yeah, football, fall. I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm a Raider fan, and we have everything except a damn quarterback.
Yeah.
So they already got pumpkin spice at Dunkin' Donuts.
It's coming
That's
soon.
usually the indicator, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fall's coming.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's Sundays before the frequency, man. Go down to I like going to the last round.
Yeah, last round. Yep.
Wings.
I won a couple of times last year.
Yeah. I can eat wings.
Yeah.
I'm getting that salt and vinegar joint. That's my joint.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
Hey,
Salt
don't.
and vinegar.
They got it at Shaw's too. Believe it or not.
They do? They got it at
man.
Shaw's?
Yep. Fill up that bucket of salt and vinegar chicken. Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Good.
All right.
Good stuff.
So we got a full show. A lot of things to talk about, and also we're gonna talk about our expectations of the DNC that's coming, which is called the Democratic National Convention that's being taking place in Chicago. We're gonna talk about also. I don't know if they heard about the story about a judge that put a teen in handcuffs during a field trip because she fell asleep in his courtroom.
Yeah, that was wild. I want to talk about that.
That's
Mhm.
wild. That's wild. So there's a lot of good stories that's coming on. So we're gonna get it started right off the bat. And let me get it right here. The news with Double D.
Okay, so are you guys familiar with Jacob Parthia?
Yeah,
He was a New Bedford Oak student who passed away in a car crash in January. He was having an inappropriate relationship with a security officer there. She was let go, or she resigned. So I saw a story this week that I know this happened in January, but I saw a story this week that the mom, they can't find the cell phone. So just a little backdrop, like, you know, the kid passed away. It was in Dartmouth in Peyton Aaron Bridge, and like later on the night, they were like, the sister and the mother, like, yo, where's the cell phone? They called it to try to like, and it pinged in Freetown at Big Wheel, which makes sense, right? They told the car there, okay, no problem. So they were gonna go there to find the cell phone, and then the Big Wheel said a cop come taking it, for which I get, right, Charlie?
Yeah,
They do like security on it, or they
yes,
right, they do want, so that wasn't a problem, but since can't be found. The officer that took it was since placed in a different unit. They said it wasn't because of the investigation, but he was since moved, but there's no cell phone. So, I mean, you know, there's two sides to this. One is there's inappropriate relationship that we can talk about. The other thing is the cops was the cell phone. There was cell phone missing with the Karen Reed case. Like, what's going on with that?
Well, chain of custody. That's all you got to do is follow that, and you're going to definitely find where it was left. You know, whether it was left with the officer, whether it was left in inventory. I mean, in the evidence room. But just track that, follow that, and it's going to tell you where that phone is.
But why can't they find him? Like, why? Like, even like the Karen Reed case, there's phones like missing.
Yeah.
Do people, like, is it covering up for a reason? Is it trying to, like, you know, hide stuff? Because that's what it smells like to me. Like, when you can't find a cell phone in like multiple cases and the police are involved, you know how much I support police.
Yeah.
But it's like these little instances like leave a black mark to me.
Well, it screws up a lot of things, because you have a record company, tow company, saying the police came and took the phone, and then now the police or whoever is saying now it's not here, or it's gone. So there's a problem right there, you know, one way or another. Whether where's the lie? Is it with the tow company, or is it with the police, or is it a lie? You know, it just chain of custody. Just follow that, and a good letter from an attorney could usually, you know.
I know that I think they're like going through litigation now. Like, I feel like the family of Jacob is pursuing some legality stuff or whatever to try to, you know, get to the bottom of it. You know, whatever that means for them.
It's very important to get those. You know, the phone is his last point of contact, right?
Yeah.
So as a family member, you really want to see what's going on so you can get some answers. Because as a spouse, as a parent, you want to know that, add some closure to what was going on that time, you know? So it's very important that they get that phone.
Especially this, like, our phones have everything on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Part of
like
grief.
On like a website, or like texting, like, right. If they're trying to get to the bottom of maybe like the relationship end of it.
Yeah.
She was in her 40s. He was, you know, 16 when it started.
Yeah.
So if they want to get into it, the phone is key to a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they do find it. For just for the grieving part, you know, and if it's something that's part of the evidence, that's very important. So those two things, I hope that phone's found, you know.
Do you think that there's more to, I don't know, this is a conspiracy argument. Do you think that's more convincing evidence to something else?
Could be
that phone.
You know, it's like you said, you know, Derek just said, these phones become our Bibles, our computers. I mean, they're a handheld computer,
right?
And there's so much information in there that you know, it could even be a source of like a daily journal or something, which it is a daily journal because it's text messages, right?
Text
emails,
messages,
anything. Yep. So I think it's very important. And
I mean, I think to Berto's, what Berto just said, I do feel, I'm not a huge like conspiracy guy a lot, but I do feel like there's something missing. Like, if that cell phone's missing, they can't find it. I feel like that they're either someone's hiding something, someone's covering something up. That's just my thought on it.
Yeah. Well, with me, that's a mistake at the beginning of the whole investigation. Is cars towed? That's beginning stages of shortly after the incident, right? After the accident. You know, so if the mistakes are being made, or there's some kind of questions early on in the investigation, what do you think's happening now since January?
Yeah.
You know, what's going on? So
I mean, it could be just like negligence on the police, and they did lose it or whatever. It could be like an honest mistake.
Yeah, or even before the police.
Yeah,
It
right.
could be
right.
something that
Now,
somebody could have just maybe the phone wasn't there.
Right. Right.
so in this accident, they weren't together, right?
Yeah, they were driving in the car together.
Oh, they were driving the car together.
He passed away. She has like traumatic brain injury. I feel like to the point where I think they had to at 44 years old, like they had to like appoint like a guardian to her to make decisions for her, because so she had like she could have died, or or probably should have died, like in the sense of how bad she was. But they both were ejected from the car. They don't even know who was driving it, because I guess it was so bad, or they both got ejected from the driver's side. So I don't even know if they figured out who was driving the car yet.
It's kind of messed up to say this, to insinuate this, but damn, I don't want to say it's because you had someone who passed away and you have what happened to her, but what were they doing in the car together as far as while they were driving?
Yeah,
for them to both be ejected in the driver's.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah,
it's
you can speculate. I mean, you can speculate.
Well, the first thing is seatbelts.
that's what I'm saying. They didn't have a seatbelt. There's a reason why they didn't probably have.
So
a
let me,
seatbelt.
Charlie, can you be ejected even when you have your seatbelt on?
No.
So
You'll
it doesn't
stay.
It doesn't like rip apart. It doesn't.
Oh, it's gonna stay right there.
You're gonna stay right there, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of the cause of that.
Yeah. No, listen,
these are
all
the details and facts that we need to think about.
His alcohol level, according to what I read, was slightly above the legal range.
Okay.
But he's only, again,
16.
he's only 18. He's 18 at the time. This started it when he was 16, like his freshman year. He turned.
What school is this?
New Bedford Vogue. So New Bedford Vogue, I think, has spent like crazy money on litigation to like hide this or whatever. So there's, I don't know if there's like a lot more to the story, whatever. But
has this I've heard this happen before in Vogue.
I mean, listen, I think it probably has happened at every high school at some point.
Yeah, it's part of it. It happens in life.
It happens.
And high school is part of life.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be every high school. I don't care where it is, in a city, suburban area, wherever it may be. There's stories like this at one point in time.
Yeah.
And New Bedford Vogue is definitely, not going to be excluded. So,
do you think there's a double standard? Like if this was a 40-year-old guy teacher and an 18-year-old woman,
it'll be looked at totally
different, right? It's always like that double standard. I feel like when it's opposite.
Yeah.
Not that it's okay. I'm just saying.
No, it's not okay. I think females have a little pass on certain things, but like we talked about early on this show, is like Jasmine was saying, and men and women, we're equal, but we're different.
Mm-hmm.
And these are one of the things that will be looked at totally different. It was a male, I think he would be crucified.
Yeah.
If all of us right here, if we had pictures in front of us and it says like sex offenders, pick out 3 of them.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 are going to be 2 guys,
Yeah.
We're gonna. It's gonna be that way. We're gonna like, all right, him, Edmund Ray. Yep.
Right.
Sorry. So, but it's gonna be like that.
Yeah,
we have a tendency on the serious side. We're gonna look for that creepy man in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Compared to
the creepy woman. Is there such a thing?
Yeah.
And obviously, when you have multiple incidents in the same school, there's such thing as a creepy woman. But do we call it creepy?
No, we may,
because we as males, regardless of our age, are the predators, I guess you want to say. But are we? Because we in the age of this feminist era, Me Too era, we supposed to be equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're really not.
I mean, I think it's both. I think you're gonna find, I think the when a male does it, it's like highlighted.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's equal, like as many females do it like this woman, but I feel like there are definitely some women that do it.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Right. So do you think
I was definitely registering a lot from the sex offenders in the city from some of from my assignment, and it comes from all walks of life, you
Yeah.
know, and so there's I mean there's an uptick when it comes to males, but there are definitely women coming in there to they have an obligation.
So do you feel like, um, he was 16, I feel, when this started. Okay, and that's like the age of consent. So that's why I'm guessing that's why no charges were pressed, right? Because he could consent. Do you think that age should be 17 or 18?
I think it needs. She's still a caretaker at some point in her in during this relationship. She was considered a caretaker. She's part of the staff, you know.
Yeah, like
So
she's part of security. So
a
it's like
man,
take
she's
care-
actually a mandatory reporter, you know.
Yeah.
And so to raise it, uh, everything else is 18 and older. So
Yeah.
I just think that kids are going to war at 18 years old. I just consent. Can he work? Can he do?
I mean, I could see it going up to at least 17, but I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Well, I think yeah. So I don't know. I just think that some cases I know where a teenager was 17 years old and getting victimized, and I definitely know that the head's not on right. They need some guidance and a lot of things. So to
They say
consent,
your brain's not fully developed
Developed.
until 25 years old.
yeah.
yeah, and you guys talked about it on the Wind Down podcast.
Mhm.
We were talking about the age of 26 years old, and I just think that there's so much development going on, and 18 is my magic number,
Yeah.
I think that I always say that human beings, we need rules to save us from ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I keep on saying every week that as human beings we are flawed individuals. We can fall into like things like the 7 deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
If it's lust, greed, and so on. Those things exist for a reason. Like even when it comes to like further on, like we have so much access to each other through the internet that I think it needs to be monetized and regulated. Also, we live in a different society where there's so much easy access to people, and we're also becoming a over sexualized society.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to take control of that, especially for our kids, especially for kids that's young kids that are and not as experienced, to know how to make better judgment for themselves. And how old was she when she was doing this?
I think 43, 44.
Yeah, and
She was 45, I think, when he passed. So right around that age.
just that teen alone.
Yeah, teen. Yeah, teen.
Teen. Like I may give you a pass if you're in your 20s.
Mhm.
You're an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You could be in
Mid-
the same
mid-20s,
space
yeah.
as a 40-something-year-old. That teen word.
Yeah, teen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That teen word is
That
like
freshman.
oh,
Freshman in high school.
that should be a turnoff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's sad that it just happened and they got an accident for both of them. I don't wish that on anyone, regardless of what they were into. We can discuss what they were into. But going back to you was talking about with the phone, yes, I think there's something on that phone that has to do with more than just their relationship.
Mm.
If it's not being given back, to the family, I think there's a lot more in there that I might if it deals with them, it could be other people.
Right.
So
I don't
that's
know.
a conspiracy.
Yeah.
theory.
So let me ask Charlie just one question before we move on.
Yeah.
As far as like the phone pinging, right? So why can't it ping now? It's like the battery's dead.
Batteries.
Oh, so you can ping a phone, like try calling it,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll tell you the location. But once the battery's dead, that's it.
It's not. It's once the battery's dead, it's you can't. You need to recharge it so you can ping it again. What that tells me is that so if they pinged it and nothing happened, So it's probably in storage
Mm.
in the evidence locker or something, right? Or it's been left somewhere and it's not being it's definitely or destroyed. So it's one of those things.
And if someone destroyed it, they destroyed it for a
Yeah,
reason.
problem. And,
You know,
and for someone to take it from the tow company, that means that phone stood in the car, but the passengers didn't. So
Mm.
that phone had to be somewhere. Where was it? In the glove box, center console, somewhere, because it didn't.
well, I mean, true, but if I don't know the details of like the car, but if the car like flipped over, it could have like hit the seal and dropped back down. It just maybe just didn't exit the vehicle, right?
I've seen some accident scenes, and probably everything that's in the vehicle is going to be
Oh, really?
flying all over the
Yeah,
place.
Yep.
So, but anyways, I hope it gets solved and found, because it's
For the mom, for the family,
for
you know,
family, and it's going to lead to a lot of answers being
yeah.
a lot of questions being answered.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I mean, you don't even want to talk about their relationship when you have two, I want to call victims, but people, you got one death and then someone is in the state they're in. At this point, their relationship is probably not even that important.
Yeah.
But even though that was the cause of why they're in the state they're in now, and it's sad. So my condolences to both of the families. Um, I hope that people take this story and you learn from this story.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can avoid anything like this happening again. But yeah,
And
this,
there's in that state is going to be a lot of reasons why they prosecute or don't prosecute. Going to have to look at the state or mental state, and
Mm-hmm.
so you know it 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 may,
what do you mean by mental state?
because if she's not capable
Like of going
Oh,
to try,
okay.
being
head, head trauma or whatever.
reviewed and interrogated and all that stuff,
Yeah,
know,
that
so
might
what
have
do
some
you
influence. Yeah,
so
like who are you charging?
yeah
Yeah.
All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's work your way up, Edmund. Up from the bottom to the top. Yeah, there you go.
Matthew Perry.
Yep. Death of French star Matthew Perry.
So this he died last October, right? You guys remember?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
drowned in his pool. But this came to light this past week that they arrested 5 people for his death.
Mm.
Okay, 5 people. His like 2 or 3 of his doctors, I think his publicist or something, for like giving him the narcotics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this happened to Michael Jackson too. You said, right?
Yeah, the sleeping to help him sleep, the medication.
So this is a problem. I feel like I don't say like I'm not lumping like all doctors in together, but there's going to be doctors that are going to prescribe stuff like way more than what they need.
Yeah.
Either because they're making money or they don't want to lose the business. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes their relationships, with their patient,
Especially celebrities, I would say.
could be similar to our relationship.
Yeah.
Hey, Bredo, something's going on with me, man.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
All right.
I got you. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, and not thinking, but and the other thing I mentioned off screen was he's probably not reviewing how much the cost was. He's probably just the accountant's just paying the stock or whatever. Or the
When he died,
Yeah.
he died in October. From September to October, he spent $55,000 in 2 months on
Well, that's what it is.
ketamine.
His assistant is the one that was getting it for him. She was known as the ketamine queen.
Yeah.
And they were basically just playing him because he was so addicted to it. He was paying probably in 2 months 55,000 worth. I guess they found Texas. They found texts between her and the other people that she was working with to get these drugs, saying how much this moron was willing to spend to get money. And this is where again, I say every week, the rule of all evil is money. And when people focus so much on money, these are the things what happens. because everybody is looking to get that doll, that money. And again, is one of the 70 deadly sins, greed. And I'm gonna preach this every week. I'm just gonna say, it's like follow the money, you will find evil. Um, but that's what it was all about. They didn't care about Matthew Perry. He was going through a lot. I think he had a condition. I don't know what the condition was.
Like, what do you mean condition? Like depression?
He was going through depression. I think I almost think he had a stroke or something like that too. He had other things going on with him that
So
Go ahead.
my thing with when we talk about the last segment with like police,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when you have like an oath to like do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
these doctors the same thing in my view. Okay, if you want to talk about the assistant, whatever, fine, but the doctors are like licensed.
Yeah.
Okay, they have license
Say
to like
code of conduct. Yep.
code of conduct
Ethics.
to pass out drugs. Okay, legally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now this dude, Matthew Perry, he started being addicted to pain medicine in 1997.
Hmm.
He had a jet ski accident on the movie Fools Rush In, which I love that movie
Yep.
with Salma Hayek,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Salma,
Right? So this is like 25 years of him being on prescription drugs, and the cast of Friends, which ended in 2004. So you're talking like 5 or 6 years of him being on Friends, saw his like weight loss, saw all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
These doctors had to know that he had a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care if it's like you said, hey, my boy, hey, can you book?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're a doctor. You shouldn't be doing this shit.
Yeah. And if the doctor's getting audited, which they do, there should be some red flags. How much he's prescribing to Mr. Perry, but I want to. I won't change the subject, but I'll get back to something that I want to mention.
Yep.
And it's this girl's nickname. If she's his assistant, how does she get a nickname like that?
Yeah.
What's where is she getting that nickname from?
From all around.
Yeah.
And obviously Matthew might have been okay with it.
Yeah.
Like knowing that he's taking more than he should or whatever.
And he could have hired her after the fact,
Right.
Maybe he was getting these, he was getting he was getting street drugs or something.
Yep.
And she said, I could do it another way, and I'm going to hire you, because he had the money to hire staff,
Yeah.
Obviously, and but
what's crazy to me is like, when we talk about like police,
yep,
you got all the video cams now, right? Microphones, talk with doctors, text messages. Michael Jackson, someone got busted in that too, right?
yeah.
So it's like, where did you can't get away with shit so much. Like I don't know what makes people think that they can.
But they were, and
yeah.
they are, and
yeah, but it always catches up to. I feel.
Always. If you're breaking the law and you're doing evil, is gonna the dark, whatever's in the dark will come to light.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of when.
Time. Yeah,
and you're gonna be your own worst enemy as a human being, because you're gonna fall into one of those 7 deadly sins that's gonna get you caught up.
Mm-hmm.
If it's greed, if it's lust, is gluttony, it's these things, and we as humans gotta understand and respect how flawed we are. It goes, everybody wants to be this free spirit, free will, and free thought. We cannot be this way, because these are the things that happen. There's laws for this, and human beings are gonna find a way to break the law. People don't want laws, but we need laws.
right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I like. So I always bring this up. I was like, if you got Union Street with no stop signs and stoplights, there's gonna be a bunch of accidents. It will depend on human beings to make the right decision.
True.
And these people knew what they were doing, and they didn't care for lives. That's why sometimes to a grain of salt, I don't trust human beings to a grain of salt, because one of those 77 sins is gonna kick in. You're not gonna, and it's gonna blind you from your morals.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And their morals were blinded, where they contribute to Matthew Perry's death, and it's sad to say, it's like we people are not taking care of each other, and especially when you have people that, she was hired to take care of him, to be his assistant, to help him make the right decisions, but she was using him, and and it's sad to say, And I guess there was 5 people that got arrested.
5 people got arrested.
5 people got arrested, and
3 of them pled out. I think then 2 of them are going to be going to trial.
yeah, and I guess the assistant is a flight risk, so she's she's in jail and she's looking at life.
Yeah.
She's looking at life for what?
Another
For money.
interesting- Yeah. Another interesting in my notes here, it says the Department of Justice is involved compared to a local district attorney or local police department. It's the Department of Justice that's investigating this. So when was that decided, and why was it decided that way to be federally investigated?
Because you think that it's like a big ring.
Yeah, it
These
could
doctors,
be, yeah.
right? So he's not just prescribing to say Matthew Perry, but these doctors are giving out boatload of narcotics that they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Is that
something.
why- is that
Yeah, and that's what something was seen and observed,
Yeah.
and it was probably just that, And so, hey, we talk about it all the time. Federal conviction rate is in the high 90s. And so good luck. And somebody that's valuable to our society. As far as his talent and what he's done over decades. Matthew Perry is now gone.
Only 54 years old.
Yeah.
54 years old. And he's
So-
been fighting this for 25 years, like on,
Mhm.
medication.
Yep.
And it's sad because I was on pain medicine because I had an injury. It's needed.
Mhm.
Like when you
Sure
have
is.
like a traumatic injury, pain medicine does help because it helps you kind of get over that hump. Some people get addicted to it.
Yeah, some people just have different personalities and they get addicted. That's why you got to know yourself and respect the drug. I remember I had my wisdom tooth out and I took painkillers.
Mhm.
I felt so good. It scared me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scared me. I was like, this is not normal.
Mhm.
I felt good. I was smiling. I never felt the best of my life.
Yeah.
That's not reality,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah.
And so I didn't take it. I wanted to feel pain because I didn't want to get addicted to that. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like I probably took like a half a pill and I had a whole bottle of pill. I threw them away. I was like, nah, now I get it why people get addicted to this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a movie out on Netflix about painkillers. I don't know what it's about, but you could tell it's literally corporate drug dealing.
Mhm.
It's the same rules that street dealers do. It's the same format, but it's in corporations, and it makes it okay.
Yeah.
And they're making millions.
Yeah, we talk about that on
Big Pharma.
on fentanyl facts and stories on the podcast they do on Wednesday, and it's I mean everything, the opioids, they were recruiting people like us, to go out and sell this,
Yeah.
and but it's I don't know. I like Matthew Perry. I like everything about Friends.
Yeah.
When it was on the air, and I'm watching it.
Shout out to Jennifer Aniston. Hi, boo.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston. Yo, I got a shot. Don't fuck up my dream.
All right. Those are my 2 segments.
All right, let's move it on up, man. Right there. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this. We always talk about this presidential campaign that's going on. And I guess that the Republican Party, which I don't even call the Republican Party, Charlie. I think MAGA and Republican Party are 2 different entities, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wish to get the Republican Party. I wish the Republican Party will get their party back from MAGA so we can become the United States again. You know what I'm saying? But that's a different story for a different day. But I guess there's what they're saying. Camilla threw out an idea that was similar to Trump's, or maybe even copying of Trump, about a plan for no tax on tips for servers and whatnot. Is it copy? Is that good or bad? Is she copying? What is our opinion on that?
I think some people that there's an idea out there, and the first one to throw it out there, it's probably going to be perceived as their idea, but there was always probably discussions about it amongst political people. They were probably all discussing it, and they finally, even a strategic, someone that's making strategies for Trump or or Miss Harris, they come across it, they share information. So someone might have come up on it, but Trump was a dude that just said, "Hey, I'm going to bring this forward," and he did. And some of his ideas, people may agree with it, and they're going to agree with it, and with this, they're agreeing with it. So let's bring it forward because it's becoming something that we want to talk. That it's an issue that needs to be raised, and it just so happens that you know Kamala is bringing it up. Trump has bring it up, and that means people want to talk about it. So let's talk about it.
So my opinion is it's a strategic for Kamala.
Yep.
It's a strategic thing because I think like Nevada is like a swing state, right? There's a lot of people that work on tips in Nevada, right? All the hotels.
Yeah.
So it's just a way, and I don't even think she would fall through on the promise. Like I don't think she would come through on the promise.
And I agree. I agreed with that the certain state. That's why it's being brought up because there was an issue with Pennsylvania, and she brought up. I can't. I'm losing.
And that's what they do. So this is not maybe a knock so much on her, but it's politicians.
Yeah.
They do this shit just to get votes. They say stuff just to get votes, and I think that's what that is on her end.
And they do it here when we all see it when they come into the New Bedford area.
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
Yeah, they make all these promises.
Railroad, wind farm,
casino.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these promises, these politicians. Yeah, right. Even on a local level, right? That's what they do to get people to go check the box off it,
I got what? They got 30 to 45 minutes to bring their points up and make it interesting.
Right.
So they're going to bring them up. And she's brought it up. And because she's in Nevada, I now that you mention it, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
it's a swing state. So one other point too is I was reading in 2022, so a couple of years ago, when they had the Reform Act, and she's vice president. In the Senate, it was tie 50-50. So she was the deciding vote, and she voted like for it. And that was when they hired like 87,000 tax workers.
Yeah.
Right. That wants to get more of your taxes. So it's like she was that deciding vote to make that work. So I don't buy that she's gonna like come through on that promise.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's more just to kind of like get votes.
And a lot of them, and that's the most essential thing right now is getting the votes.
So that's what. Yeah. So as people that are voting,
yeah,
we got to like look at these guys and are they telling us the truth? Are they saying stuff just to get votes? We have to try to make that decision.
Yeah, and a lot of voters are not focused for a long period of time to analyze things sometimes.
Yeah.
And stuff like this with this podcast, we're analyzing, we're talking about it, but the most common folks is not really thinking about it for a long period of time, or the only time they can actually think or discuss something is basically on a quick news brief in the morning, afternoon, or at night. And whatever that talking head had mentioned, that's what you're going to focus on, or that's the answer you were looking for or not looking for. So, we don't have a lot of stamina when it comes to casting our votes, and need to make it more. It's very, very important who you're voting for,
and who you're listening to.
Yeah,
like you said,
exactly.
If you watch like one news station or you watch one person, one talking head, that's all like feeding your mind. Well, that's you think that's it.
Yeah, and it's so true, right? I go to my YouTube channel to say, go get the remote YouTube, right? And then you see all the different subjects or shows that are, and it's got everything that 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 I've been watching, and I'm like, how come that's there? This, that, and I'm like, I have the top 5 to 10 videos that are on there. It's all political.
Yeah.
And it's like boom, 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 boom. And then then it starts changing to sports or podcasting or frequency live, you know.
Yeah.
And I see Berto and Derek's picture, you know. I see, you
You know,
know,
when
it's all up there,
Yeah.
right? And but what I'm getting at is that I didn't realize the stuff I'm watching until I really focused
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, those are the things that are interesting me." And it goes back to what you were saying about news channels. You're gonna see if we can wake up in the morning and just, you know, say CNN or Fox or whatever, and then it records it. Um, you know what I'm getting at. It all depends on what station you're
Yep.
looking at. What are your interests?
Yeah, it all goes into the algorithm
Yeah.
of everything. And that's why we as the consumer got to literally find other outlets to get our information other than the news. Now we need to understand that channels got to pay bills too.
Mhm.
So they're going to put things on that's going to create people to watch. And, you know, it's almost like in sports, where you always see all the sports stations talk about. They talk about the Lakers and the Dallas Cowboys.
Mhm.
Even though their teams are probably not that good,
it sells.
but it sells.
Yeah.
New stations are the same thing. What's going to sell? Talking about Trump and Trump being where he is puts eyes on the screen. That's why Trump is doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's why he talks the way he talks. He is a marketing genius. I'm talking like this because it's gonna create bait to people watch where I'm gonna control the news, the news views
Mhm.
because they're gonna show it and talk about it. And you ever hear that saying goes, all press is good press,
Mhm.
Yeah.
good or bad. He knows that,
Yeah.
you know, and we as a consumers need to understand they're playing us. They're playing us, so when people say, "Oh, they're lying," like don't listen to the news. We control the news. We don't have to watch it,
Yeah.
but we do. The news are just giving us what we want to watch.
Yeah.
We want to watch that. Is Trump is entertaining.
Yeah.
He's entertaining and he is an entertainer and he knows how to entertain. And he is keeping up with the Kardashian housewife type of programming. That's what it is. So we need to literally get in deep about our news, get other outlets. If it's podcasting, like I learn from discussions.
Mhm.
I like a debate going back and forth. I think arguing is healthy.
Yeah.
Different perspectives
Yeah.
because you're getting different perspectives. So I like that. I don't know if you watch CNN like at night, late at night. There's a format it's a new format they've been doing, right? Literally, like people are arguing and sometimes talking over each other, which is aggravating, but the emotion of it is entertaining.
Yeah.
But you're getting a lot of you're getting a lot of pushback on what people are saying,
Mhm.
and you're going back, and it's almost like an argument that what people will do in regular people in regular
Yeah.
day life, you know. But these are people that are in it deep that you could really like, all right, what are the facts? And if you're not talking facts, there's a person on the other side that's going to call you out on that. You know, it's almost like when you have candidates talking about, you know, Governor Walz's service in the military,
Mhm.
but then the other side is saying, well, let's talk about Donald Trump's avoiding the draft,
Mhm.
you know, because he had the privilege and the money. Let's go back, you know, it's now you're getting like, oh yeah, you're getting different points of views. But like we're going deep into this question is kind of copying the tax plan. My opinion is there's going to be plans that is going to be similar on each side
Mhm.
that they may agree on. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's so, but I feel like, you know, the Republican side are trying to use that and saying like that's a bad thing. Well, this is a plan that she agrees on.
And
What's wrong with that?
yeah, and if it's regardless who brings it up, is it good for America?
Mhm.
If it's good, then it needs to be brought up. You know, whether Donald Trump bring it up or Kamala Harris bring it up. It's if it's something that we all want to talk about or something that we want to be done, then so be it. I'm glad because so many things don't get discussed or even have an opportunity to be brought. Um, to us, So
I think it's a great
yeah,
thing to do.
It's a great policy.
Great policy. I just don't see her following through on it. That's all.
Why do you
Yeah.
feel? Why do you think?
Because I think like if you look at her history of where she was, I
Mhm.
don't think she's. I think she's doing it for votes. I think she's making this stand because
History during what?
like what she says that she wants to do. Like I feel like the reason why that she doesn't do like interviews because she's gonna ask about her record. She's gonna ask about her stances on different things, and now all of a sudden, like she changed. So I think that's why she's not talking to people. But I do feel that she's saying this because she's in Nevada, a lot of tip workers, and it's gonna sell.
Can I give my opinion
Yeah, of
about why
course.
she's not giving interviews? Let's think about it. She only's been a presidential candidate for a month.
hmm
So that wasn't the plan at first. So you gotta strategically, you got the short period of time that you only could get. You don't got. Trump had years to make the mistakes and every vet your VP. She is strategically. I gotta because I only got one shot at this, and I don't got a lot of time. So when I do speak, I better make sure I know what I'm saying. So she was playing the back, and a lot of people are trying to compare her to Biden. You gotta understand. I'm sure there's a lot of things Biden wasn't doing she agree upon, but I'm his vice president. I'm here to support him and his policies. He's the front man. Now, does she want to do something different? Now she's a front person. Maybe I could just adjust the things how I would want it.
hmm
So she's going on strategically. I got to make sure all my P's and Q's are freaking, all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. They're trying to push her out there, and she's not falling for it because she knows I'm not ready yet. I've been just put in this position. I wasn't. This wasn't my campaign. Now I'm developing the campaign in 3-4 weeks. So now I got to strategically do it in a way. I think what she's gonna do after the Democratic convention and after the first debate, she'll be up in that camera all day, every day. She's not gonna put herself in a position where she's gonna look hypocritical. She's gonna create stances that she will stand on all the way into to voting.
Yeah.
Was it November 7th or November 4th?
It's November
Not
something.
sure. November.
I know it's in the beginning of November.
Yeah.
So I think it's a strategic thing, and she don't need to speak because she's just moving up in the polls. And we don't talk about that's like, well, she's not allowing the voters to hear her out just yet. You're right. It's been a month. You're right. Does she need to speak to the press? Yeah, you're right. But listen, during the Republican primary, Donald Trump chose not to debate, not to be called out and ask questions about his record. Because he had the polls anyway. He had the Republican nomination sold up when it came to the polls. So he just had to do nothing. But nobody called that out.
But I mean, yes, I mean, I agree that he should have done the debates. That being said, he was still talking to the media though and answering questions. He was still answering questions, even though it wasn't at the debate.
But if you really listen to him, Derek, he don't answer questions.
Yeah, I don't like the way he talks. So
that's what I'm saying. So,
I agree.
like, really, can people come sit down and any Trump supporters? You're welcome to come on the show. What is his policies? It's like he'll say, like, I'm gonna do this, but he don't say how. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna be
He doesn't
awesome.
go and explain. This is why I love Obama. If you disagree with his policies, not he'll sit down. He was on Fox News and everything like that, and he'll sit down and he'll talk and he'll say, "This is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it." You agree with it or disagree with it, not, but at least you have as a voter know what his plan is. Donald Trump don't have a plan. He speaks. He makes you feel good. He's a branding genius. He makes you feel good.
People want to feel good.
Yes.
People want to feel good.
But yo, your feelings are not facts.
When people go to the store, they want to feel good.
For real. They do.
When they pump their gas, they want to feel good.
So yeah,
You
but
know?
let me ask you this. And this like I'm literally like I'm not no economist or anything. And Charlie, like y'all more experienced than us. And I've been saying this. I'm just like, yo, how the banking works. All right, how gas works. Now, when gas was low, right?
Mhm.
That was coming out of COVID, right? That means we had a lot in reserve. Why do we have a lot in reserve? Because there was a year or two where people weren't even driving. So when you have a whole reserve of something, gas is low, right? But then when people are using gas is gonna go high because it's more in demand. You see what I'm saying?
And most American presidents wasn't tapping into that reserve for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting now, and
To save us money,
go ahead.
go ahead. To save us money, what Biden did is I'm going to tap into our reserves so we don't have to depend on outside oil where we're paying an arm and a leg where we can have it here. If you really look at it, Biden been drilling here more than any other president to try to use our resources, right? And another example is the way the finances with interest rates. Like I just want your opinion about it. I spoke on this last week. Is that I don't think billionaires and multimillionaires should be able to take out loans. You have the money to buy the assets that you want. When these multimillionaires and billionaires take out loans, that's less money for us regular people to start our generational wealth, right? So in other words, more money is in demand. So if to give out more loans, well, how do bank make money to give out more loans? Higher the risk interest rates.
Yes,
that will funnel get more money. Now, if there's more money in the reserve, which billionaires and millionaires who already have the money to buy these assets in the reserve, the interest rates will go low because there's more money to give out. But again, we are dependent on these millionaires. They're the one that's fucking us.
They dictate so much that all across the board, they dictate so much when it comes to the normal Americans, the normal worker. There's so much things, and it's just a small few of them that constantly dictating things. I mean, we have billionaires running the news. There's only 3 news stations that control everything.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
What about this, Edmund? Please speak on this. UPS. So when gas prices go up, right? Our prices go up.
Yeah.
But when gas prices go down, do the prices go down?
No.
So think about it. So it's our capitalist system. That's wrong. So who should we blame? Should we blame the politicians or corporate mega are the ones that are fucking us? They're doing it to the food. Yes, there was a time where the supply chain and this and that, they had to pay money and this and that because of supply chain, because of COVID and all that stuff. And so prices of food went up. Well, the transfer of all these food and everything, the money cost went down. The prices never went down. They kept them up. It's corporate America. That's why it's like Kamala Harris talking about, price gauging. But we glorify millionaires and these corporate companies like they're the biggest people. Someone like Elon Musk, I don't like the dude. Like, I really don't like him. People don't understand. He has a condition where he can't feel empathy.
He's
read his book.
American, right?
Huh?
He's African American.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
I'm African American.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is he bullshitting or is he really African American?
Well, he's from Africa.
He's South African.
American. Yep.
Yeah. But people don't know he has a condition
says.
where he doesn't feel. He there's no empathy on how people feel. That's why he could fire people like it's no big deal. He don't feel. Read his book. It says it in his book.
Yeah.
But we glorify him like he's the smartest dude. He's like the richest person is going to be the biggest asshole.
Even if 1 million people lashed out at him, it still wouldn't affect anything he does.
No.
He can just get up.
He don't care.
No, I don't. He would just move on. And it's the same thing with Gates. He killed millions of people in Africa. He's over testing this and that.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother him.
Yeah.
Moves on,
When you think about it. People don't know about Musk. Well, I don't know if people know this. A lot of advertisers took their advertiser away from X from Twitter. For an example, there was an account that was white guys for Kamala Harris, and he took it away. He just took it away. He's and he's at the right. It's his company. He took it away, but he wants to claim he wants to. He's as a multi-billionaire.
Why did he take it away? What was his reason?
Because he didn't agree what they were doing. They didn't agree because he supports Trump. Because Trump his policies is going to help him make more money. This is what I'm saying. You gotta watch with the people who have the money. Like, I don't trust people who have money, because for you to be a millionaire, for you to have all this money, you gotta have some asshole in you. And if you have a man with morals, you're not gonna. If someone says, "Is it your money or my life?" It's gonna be their money. And that's just human nature. I would probably be like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I got a multi-billionaire that has so much influence and he buys a company, he's like, he buys a company that has these influence and he uses that, but then claims that he's about democracy. That's bullshit. He did it. If you listen to the interview he did with Trump, and Elon Musk, oh my God, it's like,
I didn't see that.
I listened to the whole thing. It was a big fuck you to freaking regular people.
And
They had issues about their connection. Know what Elon Musk did? He fired all his people right there and then. He fired them, and they laughed at it once they came on air. He goes, yeah, and we as union members that busts our ass, that makes it works for this country. There was like, Trump was like, yeah, I like when you do that. When they don't, goes, they want to go on strike, fire them. They're laughing at us.
Yeah.
These are multi-billionaires. It's like, wow. And this is one of the person that's supposed to be working, helping us. And y'all with your buddy, and Elon Musk is using Trump because he's gonna get clickbait, and Trump is using Elon Musk to get more him out there.
yeah,
It's crazy.
the only thing that affects those type of people are life things, right? Like things they can't control, right? Bad health,
Yeah.
That's the only way they get a rude awakening, is when something affects them.
Your
where
morals
they
hit.
But if it's anything else, they're just gonna keep on moving along.
It's not real life.
Yeah, and
Billionaires, I mean, they're not living in real life.
And that's why, like I don't vote Republican, and this is a real, because it's all about morals. I think healthcare should be a privilege. I mean, and I'm sorry. Healthcare should be a right. Everybody should have a right.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
But Republicans don't think that.
I mean, do you agree everything like the Democrats do?
No,
I don't agree everything the Republicans do. I tend to lean that way.
Lean that way, yeah.
Lately,
no, because because like I said, like, and I think you and I are more on.
We're both on
the same way. We're both independents,
you know what I'm saying?
and I think you and I, like, well, we talk off air, and we're more on the same stance.
Yeah.
You just believe that this side will probably give you that, versus I believe this side will give that, and that's fair. That's cool. But it just that there's certain values that I literally, like, when we go into the recession, is always coming off of all the time. Every time we go into recession, is coming off Republican policies. When you look at all the Republican states, those are the most poorest states. When you look at all the Republican states, those are the most uneducated states. When the numbers are right there,
but I mean,
in front of you.
The most poorest cities, Democrat-run cities, Chicago, Democrat-run cities for years and years, they've been run by Democrats.
The most difficult cities to run are Democrats. That's what you got to understand. Like, Republicans are not running difficult cities. What cities they're running? Think about it.
If they're Democrat, if their policies are so great, why haven't those cities changed?
So if you take all the resources that the Democrats want out of those cities, you think that's going to help? Like, Republicans don't run cities. They really don't. Really think about it.
Well, think
what Republican runs a city?
Look at the demographic on a lot of those. Right, when you talk about the demographic, right? Who's voting for who votes for whatever. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but okay, and they usually vote Democrat because maybe what they are selling is what those cities need. For some reason, it's not working. Like Boston is a Democratic city. I think it's poorly run. I think that there's a lot of people in those positions are stealing money. I really, what's going on in that city is fucked up.
I mean, that's one example, and and again, it's not everyone, because I'm sure there's some decent Democratic politicians, but it's like you want to say about red states or whatever. There's blue cities, all these big cities run by Democrats, and they're shitholes. California, there's they don't show it on the media. Tent cities everywhere you go.
Yeah. It's terrible. So what is the solution? Like these are where places where people Americans are going, and why aren't they going to Republican type states? Because there's nothing there. There's no services there. There's no jobs there. There's nothing there. And people not understanding. They're going to the cities because that's probably where maybe most of the jobs is, maybe the most of services are, because you're not gonna get those services in Republican states. You know, it's even in Republican states, like they don't pay most states don't pay state taxes. So when you're not paying state taxes, you can't pay the police officers, the EMTs, all those things at a good wage to get the best people in those jobs. So what kind of people are doing those jobs? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because you're saving people money. I don't know. There's always context to the argument when it comes down to a lot of things. So we got to look deep into it. Let's not like fall into our feelings. You know what I'm saying?
a lot of these things that we want, you know, all three of us would be established or actually come to surface if there were term limits.
I know
Every
we agree with
single
that. Yeah, we agree
thing.
with that. Yeah.
Everything you talk about would come to pass and start getting solved if there were term limits.
You'll see people's real morals, and they won't be controlled by the dollar.
They won't vote for that though.
No.
But it's a lifetime meal ticket for these
And
people. Once they get in, they have their war chest. They get in. You know, money, kickbacks, you name it.
I even think that the court should have term limits.
Yeah. I don't know the number, right? And shame on me, but you look at all the deciding political titles. There's let's just say 500 people, right? 500 people making a decision whether we have term limits, and they're going to vote on it. Now, their constituents will be saying we want term limits, but the 500 say, look, you know, say 260 people say, hey,
yeah,
we're going to hurt our own self. You know,
Yeah,
guess what? Bredo ain't getting that Jeep next year.
Yeah,
you know, right? So we and then there's just a small number of people that are making those decisions, regardless of the wave that's coming towards them, the hurricane. People saying, I want term limits. They don't care. If they're sitting in the barrier, they're going to say, look, nothing's going to happen to us. Just don't listen to the noise. Guess what? We're going to vote on it.
Yeah.
And we don't want term limits. And then they're going to say what? Look, we listened to the constituents and we voted against it. This is better for us. But we know it isn't.
Has it ever been on a ballot? Like term limits?
I don't remember.
Like, I don't remember it. So just one example. I remember when I was a kid. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember, I'm not sure if it was Rosemary Taney or Fred Kalis. I feel like one of those had, when I voted when I was younger, to have a casino in the city. People voted for it, but then it was like, no, we're not having it. Like, so, you know, to your point, it's like, you know, you can vote for it all you want. At the end of the day, they're making the decision.
I'm almost one. You know what? I think it was after both of them, if I'm correct.
Was it? Yeah, I remember. Like,
I think it was in the wake. It was in the wake. You know,
yeah.
There. But for some reason, I remember Mayor Mitchell making a decision.
Oh, I think it was like way before that. Yeah. I'm going back, like when it very first.
Even if it's, I remember that I would have to say Kalis, for the reason I'm saying, because he was that type of dude to look for something like that coming into the city and then let it go to vote.
Yeah.
But everything that went, I think our city has always been pro casino.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, for all the things you talked about, paying the police, the fire, the teachers, jobs would come in. Everyone wanted to say that, all right, there's a negative part about it with crime may rise, you know, but the bottom line is if you're getting $20 million from a casino to
Yeah.
go to your city. I mean, that's
I don't believe crime will rise because they would want to make sure this area is cleaned up for people to feel safe to come in.
Yeah.
I think that you're creating more equity to get more resources.
no. I would like to see it because everything that we're trying to do around here.
Yeah.
Especially with the train coming in. and
Yeah,
all that.
you know that money they're trying to build. They're trying to make. We got shiny curbs compared to looking like an oil slick
Know what's
curb.
gonna
All over.
happen?
Things are coming. Things are happening.
This is my prediction of what they're doing in downtown and the waterfront. That's going to be a mini seaport like Boston, probably in 5 to 10 years.
Mhm.
That's going to be
10 years.
Yeah, that's going to be a mini seaport. So yeah, anybody that's been in seaport in Boston, that New Bedford waterfront is going to be a mini
Yeah.
seaport, which is going to be great. That's going to be the popping place to go. I can see, you can just tell.
Mhm.
And when you hear about the rumors of the plans they're doing and everything like that, that whole shoreline all the way down the beach, that's going to be a mini
Mhm.
seaport. And that's good for the city of New Bedford. I also think they should have a casino here.
Well, it's not happening now. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I think that just people just overthought it. I think that it comes to the older people where they want to preserve the history of New Bedford, and you can still do that, but that's not creating money as it should, like it used to.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we need money in this area, to create jobs. New Bedford is a nice area.
Yeah.
It is. It's a nice, like I drive around. I'm like, something, this like everybody.
I like downtown.
Yeah. Everybody. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. You like if you go close to Boston, everybody Boston, this and that, or all these big, like places that making money. I want to work. I want to live there.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
How
Like
many
the
times you go-
people, even the people. No.
How many times you go to Boston and you get a meal and you're eating there and you're like, man, I spent a lot of money on this. Man, I could have been somewhere here.
Then
So
you
I
gotta-
spent
then you gotta
10,
drive
12
home.
bucks,
Yeah.
and I would have been full, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's
so
overrated. They're like
It's just crazy.
and so if you get more money generated here, you could have the good food and the experience. Because obviously going out, like I like going to Black Whale. Shout out to Black Whale. I
Yeah.
think their food is great. We would go there a few times to have a couple of drinks. Like they have good burgers, sushi,
Mhm.
a good selection of but it's the environment.
Yeah, I love Blackwell.
Black Whale is probably one of the best places.
Carmine's is nice downtown.
Carmine's
Yep.
is nice too. Yeah. And so I enjoy places like that.
I love Cisco's.
Yep. So that's just the start of what's coming during that area. And I don't know how we got to this place, but
Yeah.
it's but it has to do with politicians making the right choice.
Yeah,
But it also, before we move on, what do you think? We talked about term limits. Maybe not term limits. Okay, let's be democratic here. What about age limits? What do you think?
I mean, I would definitely say that, but then is that like discriminating?
Yeah, and I was about to say that.
But you got to be a certain
Oh, it
age to
is.
run, right?
What?
There's some 70 plus guys and girls that I really like listening to now in my life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and just based on their experience and their knowledge. But ages come up. You know, it's came up with Biden. It's coming up with Trump now. It's coming up with who's the guy that passed out there?
Oh yeah, the Republican.
Kentucky.
Lindsey Graham, something like that.
No,
Lindsey Graham?
the guy with the glasses.
I-
Well, anyways, he
yeah.
passed out.
Yeah.
He was in a fog.
Yeah.
You know, and he's up there in age. So it's came up with a bunch of them. You know, age restriction. I would leave that alone only because you know, like a great guy in my life is Lee Charlton. You know, he's
Yeah.
up there in age.
Yeah.
And if he's making decisions, I'm going to be more than confident with that and happy with it. You know, we talk about older people from your grandfather and all that. And so we talk about older people.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm pretty sure you had conversation with your dad in Florida and he blows your mind, you
Yeah.
know? So
But if
I would
you're-
stay away from that.
like say if I was running for office, like I will have somebody in my what do they call it administration that is older that's going to be an advisor to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a yes man that what I want, someone who I could give me a different perspective, somebody who has more experience. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's how I would run in my office as far as, getting ideas. Yeah, would I want some younger ideas, but I would not exclude the old. I'll have a couple of older people that will, help advise me to go choosing the right direction because and that's why I always talk about when I vote for an administration. I don't vote for one man. Is who you have around you is very important, not necessarily you. So let's move on to
And how many times we have we learned a lot from some young people.
Yeah.
Like even on my
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
they're in their 20s and they just blew my mind with some of the things they're coming
Right.
up with. So, but
It's
just
good to have a
wanna
different
mention that.
perspective.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
here we go.
So next topic. What is because the expectations for the DNC Democratic National Convention that's coming up? And I think it starts Monday. I want to say they have Joe Biden talking on the first day, which is smart. We can't have him talk on the last day. Okay, shout out to Joe Biden.
They're gonna shoo him away. After
Yeah. Like, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. After watching the Republican National Convention, the people that he has speaking, like people like Hulk Hogan or Amber Rose, I think that the Democratic nomination they need to put on a show, entertain America. We are an entertaining society. Entertain them, but teach them. Like I wouldn't mind them having someone like a Jon Stewart talk, a comedian who is very politically knowledgeable of things that can really teach you in a way that's entertaining.
Yeah, I think they have some surprises up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they've announced it yet.
No. I think it's gonna be a show.
Yeah.
And I think it should be a show. I don't want someone like Megan Stallion freaking doing twerking on the stage. I don't need all that shit.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that they did that. I'm like,
I was
that-
too.
that's
so,
that's kind of pandering.
yeah.
Like we should not represent our blackness. That's not us. Like that's no. We need to. Like I'm very very critical when it comes to black culture. Like my favorite movies are black movies that project black people in a respectful, classy, professional setting. So as a president, you need to do that too. Start pandering to the ratchetness. I hate.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't like about black culture is the ratchetness. It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool, especially when it comes to women. It's not cool. That twerking and everything like that, like that's not cool. Like, would I look at it? Yeah, but I'm not looking at you in a serious manner where I feel like you deserve respect.
It could have been a lot of traditional dancers, just pick anything across the country. You could have put some traditional dances out there, whether it was a an African dancer or dance group, the choir boys that were singing. They sing all over the Harlem Choir Boys. There's so many other things that you could have put.
Did this happen at the RNC?
Yeah,
What are you talking about? What are you
It
talking
was she did a rally in
Kamala
Atlanta,
did.
Georgia. Yeah,
Okay,
Kamala.
I didn't know that.
And she had Megan Stallion rap, and a lot of her content is not even respectful. Like someone who I would have performed, I would think it would perform. I would put like Mary J. Blige and sing that song "A Family Affair." It's like if you really listen to those to the lyrics of that song, it brings people together. It's talking about we are all together, the family affair. Let's do it as a family, and Mary J. Blige is an American success story.
That's the thing. You don't want to take the opportunity to miss the mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And don't pander to us, and because ratchetness is popular, we need to represent ourselves, and we got to hold each other accountable when it comes to that stuff. So my expectation of DNC, put on a show. I think it should be a lot of comedians. We have a lot of the talented intellectual comedians that can really speak to us in an entertaining way, but also teach us also.
Mm-hmm.
They're so witty, it's like someone like a Dave Chappelle or something like that. That's very witty because the most wittiest speakers are comedians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we have a lot of talented, intelligent, witty comedians that I think could put out the message. Entertain us. We live in an entertainment society, and Trump knows that. That's why he had Hulk Hogan out there. That's why he had Dana White. That's why he had, Amber Rose, because he's entertaining you. He's very smart in that aspect.
So my opinion on this is, I think that I'm going to be watching a little bit.
Mhm.
I'd watch as much as I could of the Republican. I watch as much as I can of this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about it next week on what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I do expect her to have like more of a bump in the polls, right? This is their week to shine. I
Yep.
think there's going to be some surprises, like some entertainment or whatever. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing and see what they have to offer, and we'll talk about it next week.
Know what I do? Each convention, I kind of stay away from it, and only because I can't ask questions directly or have a discussion about it if I'm by myself. Or so what I do is like the Republican convention, right? It came on, I was like, I can't. You know what? I want to see this, but I don't. Let me wait 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then I go to YouTube. And now I have the talking heads from both sides going at it and listen. And now I listen to it. I said, that's a key point. I might jot some, I might be on my phone and say, all right, let me bullet that. Let me bullet this. Let me bullet that. Because I feel that this convention just waste my time. I could have been listening to something else. So let me just put it off for 12 hours. And now I'm going to get everybody analyzing it, talking about it. Berto Cotter said this, Derek Demers said that. And I'm like, boom. All right, cool. And it's the rate. It's not, I don't want to be part of the ratings because it just doesn't appeal to me. Like the DNC, I'm not even going to watch it. I'm telling you the truth.
It can be a lot.
Yeah.
Like even like the Republican one, it's like, like 4 days in a row, they have like the talking heads, whoever you're watching, right? CNN, Fox, whoever you, it's like, they're going back and forth. They have their panel on. It's like, it can be a lot for day in and day out, so I'll watch a little bit of it, but I ain't going to watch every night, like the whole thing.
I go.
I mean, do you know that ahead of our Teamsters Union, our union talked during the Republican National Convention? But then he wants to defend us when it comes to Trump laughing at us, where he's saying that, yeah, the workers want to strike, fire us.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, dude.
And
but
that's another thing. How does it get to people?
Yeah.
How does it get to people like that? From who selects them? Instead of getting someone else on there, we talked about the dancer and like I can't even say her name because I'm not interested in her.
Amber Rose.
And
she's Cape Verdean.
And that's the thing. It bothers me. It just
she's Cape Verdean. Trump is talking about, I don't know if Kamala is black or white because she's multiracial, but you're having a multiracial on your panel. Okay.
Do you see this in other countries, right? Do you see stuff like this in Canada or anywhere where they're selecting people like this? I think the world is laughing at us with our selections.
Yeah.
Just
the way that we are. Like,
are you taking Hulk Hogan serious? Are you taking Amber Rose serious? Are you taking the twerker there? Are you taking those people serious? And when it comes to negotiations,
he's entertaining.
I just don't. I don't like it. I think I can gather a bunch of other people that can talk for us as a country on both sides.
Yeah.
The thing is this too. Like I always tell them this, is it's the entertaining, but is there substance in what they're doing?
Yeah.
I don't see. Oh, sorry, Derek. Go ahead.
No, but to that point, like I enjoyed listening to Dana White.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes he can offer some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of lost me a little bit on Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess if he changed his views and like wanted to come on board the Trump train, whatever. But it's like, I don't know, like him trying to like rip her shirt off.
But no, that is
that
is making you feel good because everybody loved Hulk Hogan.
It didn't do it.
Bring it back to your childhood. I love Hulk Hogan when I was a child, and it made you feel good. It was that Chief Race Promo. You know what I'm saying?
But would you let Hulk
he even
Hogan
mentioned Macho Man Randy Savage and
Are you going to make that guy? Are you
Yeah.
going to allow that guy to make decisions?
But that's the gift that Trump has, is entertaining. We are society. We're becoming a dumb society because we're so craving to be entertained, instead of really taking this campaign serious and really understanding what are we getting ourselves involved with this country. If you go outside the country and really ask people what people think about our country, they are laughing at us. We think we're so great when we're in our bubble. Go outside the country and really see what people are like. Yo, what is going on over there? And
why do you think the terrorists always want,
yeah,
hate us?
yeah, it just it's
There's a lot of hate because they don't believe in what we do.
yeah, they don't believe in what we
How
do.
we live.
Yeah,
we have our own sister country in Great Britain. You know, they talk about us all the time. You know, you think that there should be some, an ally or a support, but they're constantly laughing at this country and the way things are going on. And they had many a years to do it. Since you figure it's almost 10 years that they've been laughing at us for everything on both sides. Actually, before that, since 2012, they've probably been laughing about our politics and the way we do things. So I just want that pride, where
we got room for improvement all the way around.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Republican, Democrat,
yes, we do.
All the way around, we have room for improvement.
No question.
And don't you isn't the anticipation that things are going to get better? No matter, I think this is the year. This is the time that something's going to get better. Whatever side we're on, we finally see some unity. We see some unity that more and more people are coming out to vote. More and more people are contributing to both sides of the campaign. More and more people are finally like, I'm going to do it. It's important. There's people in my family just don't want to vote, but all of a sudden now this year they think, Charlie, what do I got to register to vote. All right, I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
But there's an anticipation that something's going to happen for the better. And I'm not saying that because someone's leading in the polls. I'm not saying that. I said I think the country has finally said, guess what? We got to wake up and we got to fix this. And I don't know. I'm going to cast my vote.
Yeah.
I want to play something like I'm like. It was on CNN. There was like a debate about they had two Republicans and they had two Democrats. And this specific one of the Republicans was a congresswoman who was purposely pronouncing Kamala's name wrong and like purposely doing it. And they were having a back and forth, like, and this is the type of stuff. I'm like, come on, man, like, can't we just have a debate on policy, and at least give each other respect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And let me.
Michael, that sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this congresswoman is a wonderful human being. But when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to
No. You are intending that
your disrespect of Kamala Harris
that is
part and parcel of a disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman. Why can't you just?
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is.
You are. You absolutely are.
No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor,
this gentleman said, I didn't know her name. He's trying to do it.
Is her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
white women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is, to tell them they're not real women.
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. I fought my way through it.
So pronounce her name right.
Let me actually pronounce
her name right.
Kamala Harris. If
Kamala.
You said it was Nancy.
It's Kamala. You're doing this on purpose, Congresswoman.
That's disrespectful.
You can't expect people to respect your service if you don't respect her.
And it's I watched this whole thing. She was doing it on purpose, and she wasn't allowing people to speak. If you really like, I watch these news outlets on a consistent basis. I listen to it at work all day, and I'm noticing on the Republican side they overtalk and they don't allow you to talk. You know, they're not allowing you to speak because they don't want you to rebuttal, because the rebuttal is going to go against what they're saying. So they keep on going and going and going and going and going because they know that they only have a certain amount of time in the segment. Like, I'm noticing a trend when it comes to that. You know,
I mean, I think that's. I mean, my opinion. I think it's every news outlet does that. I can't stand over people over talking.
I can't stand it either.
Over, I even see it on sports shows. I see it on ESPN. They're going back and forth, and one guy who just won't shut up, and so it's like it drives me. I like turn the channel off.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to it.
It is aggravating.
Very aggravating.
It is aggravating TV, but I think that we need to run on both sides a respectable campaign, and let's argue policies. That's what I want to hear. I want to argue policies, educate me.
I want to see the debate.
Yeah,
like I want to see this debate.
How do you think that debate is going to be, though?
Are you admitting that there's going to be a debate?
I think there is. I'm gonna owe you dinner, but not yet. I don't know because he got to show up first. I don't know if he's gonna show up.
Don't forget, I'm coming by.
Yeah, speaking of the black whale,
if anybody knows, me and Derek had a bet because I didn't think Trump was going to debate, but I didn't think that Kamala Harris would have this upbringing where now Trump has no choice but to debate if you're trying to save the campaign.
Yeah.
You know. So we'll see if he shows up because I think he's gonna get demolished because
when's this debate?
I think September 10th.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, September 10th. I think he's gonna get demolished, and he keeps on bringing up Biden. Biden's gonna come back. Yeah, you want Biden because Biden's an easy target because he can't speak, but this woman can speak.
Listen, we'll see. Let's see what happens on the 10th.
Oh yeah,
let's see what happens.
I might have to call.
Yo, it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show. But
all right, what do we got next?
We got next.
Up next, here we go.
Okay, so Fanatic owner Michael Rubin, he's the ex-owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. He was on the Breakfast Club and he was talking about black on black hate. And he's using as Meek Mill as a reference where people were saying he's gay because his connection with and his connection with Diddy and all this stuff, and it's how other black people are calling him gay, which he's not. Listen to what he have to say.
When I see the narrative of a really good friend of mine like Meek, and people trying to, again, if he was gay, which there's not one gay bone in his body, who cares? Number one, let's say if people want to be gay, it is 2024. Who the cares? Okay. Number two, there's not a gay bone in his body. So like, why do people want to lie about that? Why do people want to change the narrative of bet he made with me to try to hurt him? Like, that is the one thing I've learned about, look, I'm just being blunt because it's me. It's the one thing I've learned about black culture that I don't like is that black hate on hate.
Speak on that more. I heard you say that earlier, and I wanted you to expound on that. You said you don't like to see black people tearing down other black people.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, like it's horrible. Like, what? Like, I want to support look. You guys know me pretty well. Anything I can ever help with, I'm always there. I always want to be helpful. I feel lucky and fortunate to do what I do every day. To be as whatever success I've had, I feel blessed to do that, and I want to give back in every way I can. In business and in charitable things, I'm always trying to be helpful. Like, why does someone want to bring somebody else down? Let's try to build everybody up. Like, I when I see the narrative of a really good friend of mine like Meek, and people trying to, again, if he was.
So basically, if you heard, obviously you heard it. Michael Rubin is a white individual. Speaking on black issues. My question is this. Is he the right person to say something like this? Because in my opinion, what he's saying is true. So as a white individual who he's embedded in black culture, he has a lot of black friends. He has helped a lot of black people. If nobody know what he has done for Meek Mill was on probation. And there was a black judge that were literally, I think it was a female judge, that was like using his probation just to control him. Like he had to go to jail because he was doing a video shoot on a four-wheeler, and that supposedly violated his probation and everything like that. He was in the court, and Michael Rubin was in the court, and he was watching this judge do this to him multiple times. So he used his influence, his money, to literally, I think the judge is not even a judge anymore or something because she abused her power. But and he's done other things also in the black culture and stuff like that. But as a white individual, he is talking about black on black hate, black on black crime, how we put each other down. What is your opinion? Is he the right person to say this? Does it matter who says it?
I think it's another voice, because as someone from the black community, we always heard this over our lifetime, whether it was black on black crime, whether it was black on black hate. We constantly hear this, right? And for Mr. Rubin to mention something, I applaud that, only because it's another voice for someone speaking about something that's so tragic. And it's similar to like us four here in this studio, right? Three of us are black. And if Derek decides to mention something right now, we're gonna respect what he says. We're gonna listen to it. We're gonna appreciate it. And it goes the same thing with Mr. Rubin. He's saying something in that panel, that studio. They're listening to him. They're respecting him. He's reaching his audience. He's reaching people that follow him. And it may be an abundance of black people that support him with his company, but there's also another audience. There's another population that listens to him. Does a message go, or is the message going to sink in from him saying it? I think it will a little bit, and it adds support to something that maybe I would say, this is getting crazy. I don't like this. So what I'm saying, that it supports it, and we all disagree with it. We all want something to be stopped, and this black on black hate is something that we need. It needs to be stopped. And I think that Michael Rubin actually just supports it, whether he's white or black. I just think that it's a support that we do need, and it's a message that is being spoken on his half. Spoken in his words.
It's like an eye opener too.
Yeah.
But having someone like him say what he said,
and
it shows that he cares about our culture very deeply. And like me and Roberto, we always talk about this too, on how we just tear each other down. Cape Verde community, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's too.
What if he says reverse? Like,
and it's a shame.
You can't get along. We don't want you around.
It's just,
So,
but back to you, Charlie.
Yeah, I think you're a pretty smart dude, man. Really do. You supported me, man. That's cool. Mr. Longo and Goldhouse would really be proud,
He's proud of me. I know he is. I see him every now and then.
Like you and I, it's usually gold on gold crime. Right?
Gold on gold.
So what do you think, D?
I mean, I think I agree with everything Charlie said. I feel like he has a place in society, right? He's on these podcasts. He's, in the black culture a little bit, owning a team. So yeah, I mean, I think anyone could have an opinion. Me being where I'm at, right, with three black men, I can have an opinion on things that I see, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No. And some people might not take it.
I think it was a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. Some people, like when say I speak on something, right? Some people might not listen just because it's coming from me, as opposed if it came from a black man, or vice versa, right? So I think people listen to kind of who they want to listen to, or what they feel they should listen to. But everyone should have an opinion on it.
And there was some truth to what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Now, after this interview, have we seen other interviews from black men or black women saying what he said, right? Or stepping up to the plate to say that, and some people just won't come to that. They won't step up and say it. At least he did. And And even if there were people stepping up and saying something like he did, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Berto just said the same thing that Michael Rubin said. Oh
Right.
my God, you know, we need that. We need people to speak up for him. You know, L.Ive, what has he said about this? Has he said something? I know he has. Just the person he is. He's raised a lot of issues.
But know what? I'm noticing is that a lot of people are going at Michael Rubin for saying it, where he had to put out a statement to apologize.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and I don't think that.
Yeah, he shouldn't. I don't think he should apologize.
Yeah, I don't think should apologize either. Like, I believe we need to hold Black people accountable of how they act. Like, all due respect, I don't like using this word, but I'm using this word to make a point. I love Black people. I hate niggas.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, because Black people are amazing people. We're innovators. We create things. If we come together, we can rule. But what fucks it up is the niggas.
Yeah.
And I don't like niggas. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes niggas will use their Blackness to create fear, to intimidate. I don't think that's right. You know? But then you want to be victim when it comes to police officers. Want to, like, even for an example, protesting. There was a protest on the anniversary of the Ferguson, and a 20-year-old got arrested for vandalizing the fence at the police station. Right, 20 years old. Like, how old were you when the Ferguson even happened?
Yeah.
All right. So you wasn't really there to protest. You was there being a nigga.
Yeah.
Let's call for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the chief said, "Yo, this is enough." Like, all the officers that was in this department at that time don't even work at that department anymore.
Yeah.
And okay, protests. I agree with protests, but protesting now, people, is not to vandalize anything. Now it got to a point where I get when there's riots and things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talk about the Watch riots and the riots at the Martin Luther King and what's the one in LA? The
Rodney King.
Rodney King.
Yeah.
And I get it. The Rodney King verdict and all those things. But now people are thinking that protesting, it hasn't involved a riot. Got to be involves destruction.
Yeah.
Those are niggas.
Yeah.
Those ain't Black people.
Yeah.
Let's call for what it is. And that upsets me, because you're taking away our voice, because you're creating a narrative that does not believe in it. You're taking away voices that needs to be heard because you want to act like a nigga.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that. I don't know.
And they'll look at that protest and what happened and say, all right, this is the way I need to behave, or this is the way we should behave, right? And then they take it on and they say, that's the way to do a protest. Act up, destroy a fence, break a window, loot a business. And they're just taking that and running with it, when they should take something else. Like, all right, there was a 1 million man march in Washington, D.C., and no problems whatsoever. You know what? Let's do it that way. All right, let's dress in a suit and tie, or dressed in some shoes, and let's talk about it. Let's have discussions on the national lawn, and where we that's the way we need to do it. Right?
Yeah.
No. All right. The first thing you want to do. All right. Why do you have excuse of perception? But why do you have a hoodie on and you have a bandana around your face? You know, what's the reason for that? So you can't be seen? All right. So you don't want to be seen, but you want to be vocalizing some point that you're trying to get across. Is it?
I don't respect that.
Yeah.
I don't respect that.
Yeah. It's just so.
That's it. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not using, like, it's ignorance.
Yeah.
You know, I'm using the N-word to point out ignorance. I know it's a bad word. I don't like using that word, but I'm using it because it's a bad word to get your attention. It's to a point where we need to stop acting like niggas.
Yeah.
I don't like that word.
I keep trying to tell folks, stop using the word.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, there was a viral video where father's talking about his 2-year-old kid and saying, "Oh, this nigga is bullshit."
Yeah.
And I'm like, Wait a minute. Why'd you just call your son that word? You know, why? If his daycare teacher told him, called him that word, you'd be up in arms. But here you are. You get this viral video, virtual video that people just looking at him call his own son the N word, and he's laughing, ha ha ha, like it's a big joke. Eliminate that word out of your vocabulary, and I don't care how you dummy it down, or to make it like it's a proper word to be using.
I heard it.
Get rid of it.
I watched a video with Kevin Durant during the Olympics. He was talking junk to other black people, the Sudan team, using that word.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you niggas can't stop me.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's like you're on the Olympic, you're representing the US and you're speaking like that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, how ignorant that is. You are a professional basketball player, has a lot of influence in kids' lives.
Yes.
And that's how you are conducting yourself. That's why a lot of these players I don't respect.
No,
like you never hear Michael Jordan talk like that.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You'll never hear a Magic Johnson talk like that. You'll never hear, even as crazy as he was, Charles Barkley talk like that.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
You won't even hear Dennis Rodman talk like that.
Yeah.
You won't even hear these people that probably had bad reputations in the basketball world, but they understood the professionalism and the responsibility it has as Black America. Even Oakley. Yeah. It's like, come on, man. And it's ignorance. And you players are becoming so entitled to and thinking it's okay to use that word because you got a lot of dollars behind your name. Like, and again, there's that person that has $1 million and has money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't trust you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust you to leave me. Like, I want to this person is named Hill Hopper. He is running for office. I forgot what city, but he was on this movie called Get on the Bus. And if you haven't seen the movie Get on the Bus, is about a bunch of guys driving to the Million Man March, right? And there's a lot of things they went through, and the debates that went on in this bus. Mm-hmm. It's an inspiring movie where it educates you. It even gets into the aspect of light-skinned Black, dark-skinned Black, you know what I'm saying? A gang member, like all these things, a gang member versus police officer, like, because all these different personalities, even though they were Black people, they were coming from different perspectives, and they were all going to the Million Man March to support the Million Man. And so Hill Hopper, he's an actor who is now running for, I want to say, I don't know, state representative of Congress in his city, and he was speaking and explains. And look at this is a Black person who I like. This is Black, right? Where explains why the real power is in the U.S. Senate, and he explains. Let me pull it all up. 1 second, if I can. I hope. Yeah, there we go.
The real powers in the Senate. It's the most powerful deliberative body in politics in the world. Because 100 people make the decision about two crucial things in this country. Number one, confirming lifetime appointments of federal judges. We see how that affects us down the line. And number two, deciding how your money gets spent.
It's not glorified. People don't talk about the Senate as much as they talk about being president, or talk about vice president, or talk about even some of the other things. It's just not glorified.
The president doesn't control the money.
Right.
We have an opportunity here to grab a U.S. Senate seat. The U.S. Senate, 100 people in this country control the distribution of $7.2 trillion. That's, people don't realize that. People think, the president, the executive branch does not control the money, y'all. Mm-hmm. It's the United States Senate. And if you want your money to be used for overseas violence, or do you want it to be used for healthcare at home? Do you want your money to go to undergirding and giving tax breaks to big oil or big pharma? Or do you want it to go to public education? That is directly who you put in the U.S. Senate.
That's right.
That's it. Mm-hmm. But if we check out, like I'm seeing so many folks, man, it doesn't matter. I ain't voting. I don't even know what a primary is. I can't do this. If we do that, we have lost. Mm-hmm. Don't be the dog that stops jumping. We have a chance. This is an open U.S. Senate seat now. I'm only running against one person. I need one more vote than one person. And an activist can grab a Senate seat. It's unprecedented, the opportunity we have. It's just hard to convince people to move. The real powers in the Senate. It's the most.
So who is that guy?
He is Hill Hopper. He's running for Congress. I forgot what district it is. What city it is. what state I can find out. But he's an actor. He was an actor. A very intelligent brother. He'd been in a few movies. But he decided to run for. He used to be a state representative. Now he's running for Congress as an open seat. And like if you go to the Breakfast Love Food interview, he breaks it down how the whole political system works.
Yeah,
you know, and so everybody's so focused on the presidency, but it's the Senate. It's the Senate.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody thinks that the president controls the money. It really don't. It was who we put in the Senate. It controls the money. That's why we have branches of government, and people need to understand that. So you know, it's like Donald Trump could want to do something, or Kamala want to do something, but the Senate needs to approve of it.
Yeah,
you know, so people need to understand how the political system works, so we have a better understand where our money is being allocated to. But he's a black person who is running for a seat where, you know, I would vote for him. Just listen to that interview. I'm like, wow, you know, there's a lot of things I learned from it that I didn't know. So let's move on. What's that?
It's in Michigan, I guess.
Oh yeah, in Michigan. Yeah, it was Michigan.
We got one more topic.
Yeah, we got one more topic. Let's. This is crazy.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
All right, so judge puts handcuffs on a teen for falling asleep in his courtroom during a field trip to a courthouse. All right, I want let me get. Let's listen to this. Listen to the report. 1 second.
What he did, placing a 16-year-old in handcuffs after she was allegedly misbehaving on a field trip in his courtroom.
One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
What started out as an informational field trip with the greeting of Detroit nonprofit Tuesday to the 36th District Court in front of Judge King.
This is the 36th District Court for the city of Detroit. We do just about everything that happens in the city of Detroit.
Quickly turned into Judge King getting visibly agitated over a sleeping student in his courtroom.
You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm putting you in the back, understood?
Judge King had her removed from the courtroom, but he told me that didn't fix her, quote, attitude. And that's when he pulled out the jail uniform and handcuffs.
That's not something that normally happens, but I felt compelled to do it because I didn't like the child's attitude.
I spoke to Judge Kenneth King. He stands by what he did, placing a 16-year-old in handcuffs after she was allegedly misbehaving on a field trip in his courtroom.
One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
So the story is basically a girl's class was on a field trip to a courthouse. And I guess, you know, whatever doing, you know, just going through the way of how the courthouse worked. The girl was falling asleep, and he asked, you know, wake up, something like, and she was kept on falling asleep to a point where it was almost like he was doing a scare straight, where he literally, it says he put her in a jail uniform also, right?
Cuffed her.
And cuffed her. There's more to the story, but let's talk about that aspect for first. What is your opinion on that?
There's probably no case in this country where someone is put in handcuffs for sleeping. So I think he's wrong. And I think that there's so many other things he could have done. That's a controlled atmosphere because it's a field trip. So there's probably no cases. There's no defendants in the docket. There's nothing there to harm those kids. Maybe could have took it a little bit differently and told one of the staff members, whether it's the chaperone she had or even the court officer, look, just escort her to the back, you know, judge's lobby or whatever, or escort her out, just get her out of here. Maybe we can talk to her later. But to go to that extreme, even if he says it was contempt of court, it's not contempt of court because it's not an active case. It's a field trip. So to me, he's wrong 100%. I don't care what his thinking is and all the stuff he said in my courtroom. No, it's not your courtroom. It's the Commonwealth. It's the state of Michigan's courtroom. So. And nowhere in the state of Michigan have they ever locked up anybody for sleeping. And this guy's wrong. That's my piece.
I think that he definitely should have never done it. Okay, because a girl could have had problems sleeping at night, right? She could she's tired, whatever, right? I almost fell asleep when I was on jury duty one time. Okay, people are tired, right? But I think that, and I'm not defending him at all because it should have never have happened at all. Okay, but I think was he trying to like send a message like to kids like to be present or to like, you know what I'm saying? So because I think we need more of that in society. And we whether it's cops or whatever, we need kind of that to help kids gravitate in the right direction. So I don't know if that was his intent to trying to like steer her to lock her in cuffs and put a jumpsuit. I mean, that's just, this dude took it way too far.
I mean, how many teachers, excuse me, brother, one second. How many teachers kick a unruly kid out of the classroom and go to the office,
Yeah.
And that sets the tone and the class kind of calms down.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to go to the office. He could have did the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think maybe his intent was to try to do something like that to, I don't know.
Get out of my courthouse. And
okay, to continue the story, they did an interview with the mother. The mother's a single mother who is homeless. So she didn't get a good night's sleep.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
She didn't have any place to sleep.
Yeah.
The girl gets good grades. So as a judge, I always want to know the why before I judge. That's I've learned, like Charlamagne God says he asked Larry King, who interviewed anybody who's anybody. He asked him a question like, what is the best question you can ask someone during an interview? And Larry King said, why?
Yeah.
You just ask a simple word, why, that will start the conversation.
Yeah.
And the understanding.
I agree.
Like, why did you do this? Why did you think this? Why did you say that? Why did you make this decision? He didn't ask why. He didn't care why. I think that he had some type of entitlement, some ego complex where he was like, yo, this is me.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask like, listen, you're falling asleep. Have a conversation with this young girl. Why are you falling asleep? Because that's disrespectful. Like, have a conversation instead of scaring her straight. And he had the audacity to offer the mother to mentor the child.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
She could have said that. Well, I'm falling asleep because at midnight I was on Broadway trying to sleep and I couldn't.
Yeah, you don't know what these kids are going through, and you're on this high bench in high society, and you have all this power, and you think you're all that. And this is what I'm again. Humans are flawed. When you give them this power, there's got to be some rules to keep this type of behavior down, and you're gonna scare this child, and it just I think it was sad to for this child to go through that. You could have had a conversation with her. Now if it prolongs the if maybe there was disrespect, I don't know. Maybe she's giving you the same energy you're giving her because you're not really trying to understand why she's falling asleep. It's probably not done purposely. She's having a rough life. And you don't care. And that's what a lot of people, when they get into crime, you don't know what they're raised into to survive in this world, so being a judge is like, yeah, you was literally being judged.
Well,
someone.
After Attorney Demers gets takes this case, I mean, they're not going to be homeless. They'll be raise rent somewhere in Michigan, right? Driveway. And
so let me ask you a question. Do you think that because this judge was black, right? If this was
black,
if this was a white judge that handcuffed a black girl,
it would have been worse.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been more of a story in the media, don't you think?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
right.
I don't know where you got that video from, but it wouldn't have been just on that video.
Right.
You would have seen it.
Right.
Charlie Perry had been looking at YouTube, and I got
Right, it would have been all over.
handcuffed,
Yeah.
and it would have been right
Yeah.
there, and so, but it's sad to say, but race would have intensified it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
I hate that.
Yeah.
I honestly hate that about
Mm-hmm.
Society. It's like
Yeah.
it's race has to be everything. I didn't even like to bring it up because like I'm bringing up race with a big,
Yeah.
but that's the society that we live in. Unfortunately, it would have been a super big story.
Yeah,
I feel.
Do you know that there's a thing coming? I forgot what city it was in. It came on the news where they're implementing street race.
Wow. Yeah.
So street race is basically what you're perceived on the street, not what you as identify of what you are. So somebody could look at me and think I'm Puerto Rican or Dominican or Latin. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not that. That's my street race. Is how people perceive me. They're literally putting they're having that on like if you're applying for an apartment or something like that. It's like your street race. And it's crazy. I think there's too much race influence in the society today.
Know where that comes from? I mean, well, guy that had a problem with it, with that like street race, believe it or not, is Fat Joe. They were getting on him because he kept using the N-word, and they were going at him. You know, he's like, but that's all I hear. That's me. That's my neighborhood. It's so it's all right to call him that, but he's saying it back and he's getting lashed at, and he's like, so he was kind of going through something, you know, and that similar to what you're talking about, street race. And when you said that, that's the first person I thought about, and so I don't know, it's we're always gonna this country divides everything, every single thing, and you know, why can't, you know, if you're going to put a label on all of us, why can't we just put, you know, American? You know, why can't we do that?
Yeah, we need to go back to being United States.
Right.
Unite, keyword united. So let's get on to our last topic of the day. We got a couple more left for the show, The Frequency Live. This is a fun topic. We always try to throw in some relationship topics and stuff. So here's the question. Who is more romantic, women or men? Who wants to take this first? and whoever takes it first, you got to go. You got to explain yourself.
All right.
You want to take it? Charlie, you want to go first, or I'll go first?
You go first.
I go first. Doesn't matter.
Go first.
Go first.
I mean, I feel like it depends on the person. I think if I had to like sit back and think about it, be like, all right, women are probably more romantic than men. But then I think there's a lot of romantic guys out there. I think it just depends on the individual.
What makes women romantic?
I think they're like caring and nurturing a lot of times.
But what do they do that's romantic?
I don't know. What are you asking?
Dress.
Yes.
Dress.
Plan dates. I mean, you know.
And then it's like, you know what side I'm taking.
Yeah.
So you think women are more romantic?
I think probably by and large, I'd say that.
What do you think, Charlie?
I'm gonna say man, because when we have to turn it up, we're gonna turn it up, right? And there's ways of, even if I look to my right and I it's a woman that I'm talking to. Look, I got to do something, you know. I got to have a nice romantic dinner. I want your opinion, and I'll adjust and I'll do this. But I think I'm a very romantic guy. But I put it on sporadically, right? Put it on when I can.
You gotta hear his poem, that poem. What's that poem?
Yeah, I mean, he writes, this guy writes poems.
His poems. Oh man,
yo,
so
Charlie,
sexy.
Charlie, you gotta set that mood, brother. Go ahead, set the mood.
Listen, I mean, and actually, you know, my poetry comes from me, a man, and I can write it every single day.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can, you know, it's in my heart. And that's why I go by the name A Poetic Pulse. It's from my pulse. I intentionally bring it out on a regular basis. And I don't mind it. I could write a book a day, you know, a book a month, rather. I'll say a month. I could write a book a month about romance, and no poem or any book is going to sound like the next one. I'm going to continue to do it, and it's going to be different. But I love I'm pretty sure, and this is my vote, and I'm biased because I'm a man, but I think men do turn it up when they have to, and but I don't know. I just can't pick a woman because I'm a man. Can't say it.
And my point of view is I think men, because we're the one that expected to plan dates. We're the ones that got to cater to the women when it comes to Valentine's Day. We're the one we got to show the chivalry. We have to like give the flowers. We get the candy. We got to get the jewelry. We're the one that got to go on one knee to ask you to marry you. I could go down the list.
Gotta set
men are the more romantic because we're held to that standard. Women don't have to be romantic. They just got to show up. You know what I'm saying? So we have to come creative. When has a woman ever give you flowers? Has a woman ever planned a date for you? Has a woman gone on one knee and confessed their love to you? Has a woman is like Valentine's Day? If you go on Valentine's Day, is it catered to who? The women or the men? You know, it's and we're hold to that standard.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes women like less romantic just because these special occasions guys got to like step.
But they don't do anything romantic.
I mean, I think it depends on the relationship. Like, I mean, if you get home on a it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, whatever. But if you get home on a Tuesday or Wednesday and you have a nice dinner waiting for you with dressed nice, I mean, flowers on the table, that's romantic.
But is that a normal thing?
No, it's not. But it's Valentine's Day is not normal. It's once a year.
But is that
once a year?
Do you hear a lot of stories of a woman doing that for a man? Is that a normal thing, a consistent thing that you may hear? You hear a lot of like a guy who go out of his way and do something special for his girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we'll get a special gift.
Yeah.
Like and always giving those affirmations. You're beautiful. I love you.
Yeah.
I care about you. Women don't do that. Not on a normal basis. Not a consistent basis. Because men are more romantic.
Yeah. All right. Listen.
But we have our stance. That's just what do you think, Edmund? You agree? Put in the mic so people can hear you, so I'm not by myself.
I agree.
You agree what? That men are more romantic?
Men are definitely more romantic.
All
right.
Siri, who's more romantic?
Yeah, ask Siri.
You asking the wrong one.
If Jasmine was here.
Siri's a girl.
Others dispute that claim with statistics supporting the belief that men are more romantic.
Thank you.
This answer is from CarolMagazine.com.
Yep. So even Siri says men are more romantic. we argue this all day. Brother Joshua says, can you put that up?
Just click on the left or right.
Just click on the blue, yeah. To get it away. Yeah, there you go. Show. So brothers, where did romantic, where did it come from? Where's the history about it? I don't know all about that, I'm not a historian when it comes to romance, but I am romantic, like I can create some romance.
Yeah.
But we're gonna come to the end of the show.
Is this the end? I gotta know. Is this the end?
Yes, this is the end of the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio, Facebook Live. I'm your host, B. Cotter, with my co-host, Double D, Derek Demers, and filling in for Jasmine, Jay Glock, is Charlie Perry of the Really Charlie podcast.
The Real CP.
And we got our program director, Emin, in the distance.
Man.
So what do you think about this show tonight? I think it was a good show.
A good show. I love the topics that we discussed. I love having Charlie on.
Back at you.
Good. So yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
I love Frequency Live. I really do. You ever need me to come on board, let me know, whether it's temporarily or full time. I love this show so much that I would gladly, put my Really podcast, off to the side and do it from home. But to do it here at WMB1 Radio, Frequency Live is definitely something that's I like and I enjoy and I watch every week. regardless of the poor production by Edmund Ray. No, I love you guys and girls. Jasmine, I love you too.
Love you too. Yes, thank you for coming on. Yes, we're gonna have you on a lot more often. There's a lot of things that's coming up the pike that we're gonna work together on. You have a show coming on Tuesday, Really Charlie podcast. What is that all about?
It's about two guys that I ever met through the podcast, through my other podcast with Fentanyl Facts and Stories with Paula Young. And I have two guests coming on. They're going to tell their story about addiction and what they went through. And basically, it just, me is, I just let people tell their story so someone else can learn. The next person can learn. Maybe you could save someone's life, that's struggling with an addiction, regardless of what it is. Gentleman's from out of state, and I can't wait. I can't wait until he tells it. We'll connect through StreamYard, and I'll definitely be doing that. And putting out all the other shows like for WMB1 Radio. I'll mention you guys and everything, but I can't wait because the stories are fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So be on the lookout for that Tuesday at
6:30.
6:30 WMB1 Radio, and gonna be on Facebook Live and on
StreamYard.
And StreamYard.
Well, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, YouTube on the Really Charlie channel, and I've been trying LinkedIn. I've been getting a good response, and so I want to continue with that. And if I remember, I add it to Spotify later on the following hour or so after we're done, just so you have an audio and video version on Spotify.
Yeah,
but I tend to forget to put it on Spotify now.
Yeah,
that's it. Old age, Charlie.
All right, so I want to thank all our listeners and all our watchers watching the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio and Facebook Live. We'll be back next week, next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for listening. With a whole new topics. We're going to talk about the Democratic Convention that will be starting this Monday, which is tomorrow, and other trending topics. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and have a good and safe week and night.
Good night, y'all.
See ya.